welcome to Idea Television News. I am Adewale Alashapo. This is News at 9. We'll begin with the headlines. NSE pushes CNG adoption to drive jobs, cleaner energy. SAFARICOM expands 5G network with ERICSSON partnerships. Algeria taps SONATRACH to align jobs training with industry needs. Malawi in talks with ERICSSON on digital training and rural connectivity. Away from Africa, U.S. Treasury Secretary set to raise global tariffs to 15%. In business, Nigeria fastest African economy to hit $100 billion GDP. In health, KWARA boosts healthcare with 150 nurses, new MRI. Lastly, in sport, KOUNDE and BALDE out of BARCA ahead of Champions League tie. Now the news in full. The BOARI branch of the Nigerian Society of Engineers today called for accelerated adoption of compressed natural gas as part of Nigeria's energy transition. Chairman Funbiya Longe said the country is well positioned to leverage its gas reserves for economic growth, job creation and environmental sustainability. Alonge made the remarks at a public lecture titled A Future of CNG, Emerging Trends and Technology in Energy Sector, highlighting the need for research, innovation and collaboration to scale up CNG infrastructure, including refueling stations and conversion centers. He added that expanding CNG adoption will reduce reliance on petrol and diesel, lower transport costs and cut carbon emissions. The initiative aligns with the federal government's push for alternative fuel adoption, aiming to position Nigeria as a leader in clean energy solutions. In other news, Kenya's telecom operator SAFARICOM has signed a new deal with Swedish equipment maker ERICSSON to expand its 5G network. The agreement announced today will add microwave links to boost network capacity and reliability as SAFARICOM continues nationwide 5G rollouts. The partnership also includes artificial intelligence-powered tools to improve network performance and support faster operational decisions. SAFARICOM's head of network planning, ERICSSON Gritongi, said the upgrade will enhance customer experience as 5G adoption grows rapidly. Data from the Communications Authority of Kenya shows 5G subscriptions rose from 509,737 in September 2023 to $1.49 million by September 2025. Over the same period, quarterly data use jumped from 1.57 million gigabytes to nearly 60 million gigabytes. SAFARICOM now holds 62.7% of the mobile broadband market with its 5G network covering about 30% of the population. And out to Algeria, the country has launched a new partnership between its Ministry of Vocational Training and the state oil company SONATRACH to better connect job training with the country's industrial and energy sector needs. The agreement was discussed on March 3rd in Algiers and aims to create new training specialties tailored to technological and energy transitions. The initiative is part of a broader reform to modernize vocational education. Authorities are setting up 18 centers of excellence and expanding digital-focused programs in areas such as information technology, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence. In 2026 alone, over 285,000 trainees joined the vocational system, while nearly 400,000 new training slots were opened for the 2024-2025 calendar year. Despite this effort, unemployment remains a major concern in the country. While the national unemployment rate stands at about 12.7%, youth employment among those aged 16 to 24 is nearly 29.3%. Officials say aligning training directly with industry demands, especially in the energy sector, will improve employability and support long-term economic development. In Malawi, the country's Minister of Information and digitalization, Shedrick Namloba held discussions with Swedish telecom giant ERICSSON during the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. The talk, held from 2nd of March to 5th of March 2026, focused on establishing training programs in emerging technologies such as 5G, advanced ICT systems, and artificial intelligence. Officials also explored ways to expand internet access in rural areas, including energy efficient and low-cost network deployment models. The initiative aims to equip Malawian youth and professionals with technical skills aligned with global market demands. The discussions form part of Malawi's broader strategy to strengthen its digital ecosystem, promote technological entrepreneurship, and prepare the workforce for the digital economy. No formal agreement has yet been signed between the government and ERICSSON. We'll go on a quick break now. The news continues when we return.
Number 6, digital twins for cities and industries. Digital twins, real-time virtual replicas of physical systems, are expanding fast. Singapore has already built a national digital twin to simulate urban planning, monitor traffic, and manage energy use. In manufacturing, companies like Siemens and GE use digital twins to model factories and machines, cutting downtime and improving efficiency. During the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, organizers tested digital twin technology to manage crowd flow and logistics. Analysts at Deloitte predict that by 2026, nearly 70% of large industrial companies will use digital twins in some form, making them a core part of operations.
Well, if you're just joining, this is Idea Television News at 9, and now the rest of the news. Away from Africa, the United States is likely to implement a 15% global import tariff this week, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has confirmed. The move comes after conflicting statements from President Donald Trump and a recent Supreme Court ruling that struck down last year's sweeping import taxes. The tariff is intended to replace the 10% levy currently in place, which was applied using an untested authority known as Section 122. White House officials said other legal tools, including Section 301 and 232, may also be used to restore the broader tariff regime permanently. Officials stresses that the move aims to rebalance trade, support American manufacturing, and reduce national debt. Businessmen and world leaders have called for clarity as significant questions remain about how U.S. import taxes will be structured going forward. And now to business. Nigeria became the fastest growing African country to reach $100 billion GDP, achieving the milestone in 1994, just 34 years after independence. The growth was driven by oil exports, a large domestic market, and expanding sectors including banking, telecommunications, and entertainment. Other fast-growing African economies include Algeria, reaching $100 billion in 2011, and Algeria in 2005, both fueled by oil and gas revenues. Morocco, Kenya, South Africa, Egypt, Ghana, and Ethiopia also crossed the threshold at varying paces, reflecting the continent's diverse economic parts. Data compiled by Intel Points from the IMF shows natural resources, infrastructure, and strategic sector investments helped accelerate growth in resource-rich countries, while service-led economies like Kenya and industrializing nations like Ethiopia took longer to reach the $100 billion mark. And now to health. The KWARA state government has recruited 150 nurses and acquired a modern magnetic resonance imaging machine to strengthen healthcare delivery across the state. The announcement was made today by Health Commissioner Aminat El Imam during the visit from the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigerian accreditation team. The new MRI installed after months of technical planning will improve diagnosis of neurological disorders, cancers, spinal injuries, and stroke complications. The move is part of a wider effort to modernize health facilities, including the upcoming installation of a high-capacity CT scanner in Ilorin. Commissioner El Imam emphasized that the recruitment complements last year's hiring of 1,050 health workers, while the state continues to expand postgraduate medical training and partnerships with universities to upgrade public hospitals, including into teaching hospitals. And now to sports. Barcelona will be without defenders Julius Kounde and Alejandro Balde for their Champions League on last 16 clash against Newcastle. Both players suffered hamstring injuries during BARCA's 3-0 Copa del Rey semi-final win over Atletico Madrid on Tuesday. Barcelona confirmed Balde's recovery will take about 4 weeks, while Kounde is expected to miss a similar period. The duo will also miss upcoming La Liga matches against Atletico Bilbao, Seville and Rayo Vallecano. The injuries also add to Barcelona's concerns as midfielder Frankie de Jong is also sidelined with a hamstring issue. Kounde's injury may affect his participation in France friendlies against Brazil and Colombia later this month, while Balde remains behind Spain coach Luis de la Fuente's prepared defenders. And that's all we have for you on Idea Television News at Night. But before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. NSCE pushes CNG adoption to drive jobs, cleaner energy. SAFARICOM expands 5G network with ERICSSON partnership. Algeria taps SONATRACH to align job training with industry needs. Malawi in talks with ERICSSON on digital training and rural connectivity. Away from Africa, U.S. Treasury Secretary said to raise global tariffs to 15%. And in business, Nigeria fastest African economy to hit $100 billion GDP. In health, KWARA boosts healthcare with 150 nurses, a new MRI. In sport, KOUNDE and BALDE out for BARCA ahead of Champions League tie. Do not forget to follow us across our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Adewale Alashopo. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.